Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Entaro Adun. This is CJ from Gamefront, and today is our final Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm live stream. I will be commentating some more show matches from Clan TAW, The Art of Warfare, and today is also the grand prize giveaway for our contest. One lucky winner will receive a free copy of Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm Collector's Edition. For your chance to win the prize, simply drop a comment in the live stream with a unique unit quote. Whenever you click on a unit in StarCraft, it offers a little quote. Come up with your own and post it in chat. Could be funny, could be epic. Just let us know what unit it applies to. We'll pick our favorite, and they'll win the Collector's Edition. We apologize for that Morse code beep, but we're getting our first match set up here. And we'll get started in just a moment. Our players are currently selecting the map. This will be a best of 3 series between Probe and Unrated, a Protoss and a random player. Looks like the selected map will be Star Station, the first map in this best of 3 series. It is a new map from Heart of the Swarm. Looks like our players are ready and we're gonna get started. Our 2 players are approximately Silver Gold League. Should be a fairly even matchup. This map clearly uses the Protoss tile set, however that does not mean that it is a Protoss favored map. And in the top right corner in the orange trunks we have Unrated, who has spawned in as Protoss. His opponent in the top left corner, in the, I want to say teal trunks, is Probe, also playing as Protoss. Now the best thing about Heart of the Storm, in my opinion, as a Protoss player, is that PvP is so much more interesting than it was in Wings of Liberty. In Wings of Liberty, PvP would tend to devolve into very dull mirror matchups, Robo versus Robo builds. However, with Heart of the Swarm, air is now a valid option. Again, both of our players from Clan TAW, The Art of Warfare. You can find their community group in Battle.net by searching for The Art of Warfare Community. Looks like we have a fast expand planned for Probe. Not a Forge fast expand though, seems to be Gateway first. And with the mothership core, this allows Protoss to be much more aggressive in expanding early on, thanks to that power that supercharges your Nexus into a weapon. I believe Unrated was the first to scout out Probe's position. Let's see if Probe knows where Unrated is. And she does not. Unrated, meanwhile, working on a one base for now, not bothering to wall up, knowing that it's not quite necessary against another Protoss opponent. Probe putting down her Nexus before her Warp Gate, or Cyber Core rather. And there comes the Cyber Core. Now typically, players who select random tend to be more aggressive in their builds, tend to want to end games early simply because it's far more difficult to remember builds for all three races. They tend to be jacks of all trades, masters of none, so we tend to see more cheese. We're not sure if we're going to see that from Unrated. We do see a Zealot coming out to poke Probe's base, to probe Probe's base, one might say. There's that forward pylon. Meanwhile, Probe still not aware of where Unrated's base is, still working on macroing up. Unrated just now starting research on Warp Gate. So that forward pylon was fairly early. Meanwhile, this Zealot going to town on those probes, uncontested. We have a Stalker now coming out for Probe, but that Zealot, 5 kills. 5 probe kills right there. That's 250 minerals worth of probes, plus the additional mining time. Unrated very effectively shutting down that second expansion. But once that Stalker's out, that Stalker will be able to kite that Zealot all day long. But here comes a second Zealot, or just standing out outside the base, but 2 Stalkers coming in. Probe does not have a second unit coming out. Probe really feeling the pressure right now. Unrated deciding to head into the base for that mineral line. And here come in the probes to try to make something happen to save this game. But Probe is taking significant losses right now. Not the best position. Unrated has cleverly placed his units so that Probe cannot get the surround. Still, Probe going to clean this up, but taking devastating losses. Meanwhile, Unrated has expanded behind this push. And Probe concedes the GG, and we'll move into match 2 of this best of 3 series. presently working on picking our second map. It is Probe's choice. And looks like it's going to be Cloud Kingdom LE. Our players are ready, and as we load into this next game, we're going to remind our viewers about our grand prize giveaway today. We're giving out a free copy of Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm Collector's Edition. All you have to do to win is be our favorite comment. So leave us a comment with a unique unit quotation. Let us know what unit it should come to. Just come up with your own quotation. Could be funny, could be epic. We'll pick our favorite, and you'll win a free collector's edition of Heart of the Swarm. And as our match gets started here, we have spawning in the top right corner, in the teal trunks, playing as Protoss, Probe. Her opponent in the bottom left corner, in the orange trunks, is Unrated, who has spawned in as Terran. He selected random, so Probe does not know that she is presently facing a Terran opponent. Once again, players who select random tend to be fairly aggressive, and that's exactly what we saw in our last game. Unrated taking a fairly decisive win with some early game pressure, while Probe was going for a fast expansion. That would have given her a strong economic lead. However, Unrated's aggression won him the game. Will we be seeing a repeat of this game? We'll have to find out. This time Probe walling off just to be sure, or just to be safe rather, in case Unrated spawned as a Zerg and might be going for some early pool aggression. This time sending out that 12 scout. Unrated, on the other hand, not sending out a scout just yet. He knows exactly where his opponent has spawned, he knows what race she is, and he knows that he probably has a fair idea of what builds could be coming his way. We saw a 14 gas from Probe. This could be a 4-gate in the making. Probe managing to escape, getting chased across the map by the SCV. Some playful banter being exchanged. Again, these are clan members, so they know each other well. Cybercore going down, and Probe keeping that probe there to block Unrated's access to her base, wanting to hide her tech. If Unrated would see that one assimilator, he might be thinking 4-gate right now. We'll see if that warp gate research gets chronoed out. That would be a sure sign of a 4-gate. And there we have it. However, we see another assimilator going down, so maybe this won't be a 4-gate. Maybe we'll be seeing a 3-gate robo. Meanwhile, Unrated, the Terran, has one barracks with a tech lab up, building another barracks, getting a second refinery up, and has a factory pumping out some Widow Mines. Widow Mines are definitely a game changer in Heart of the Swarm. Many players, new players, don't know how to react to them yet. They went through some severe balancing issues throughout the beta, I recall, when they were able to attack cloaked and flying units, which made me stop playing the beta for a while. As a Protoss player, my observers were getting eaten alive. Very interesting, a Stargate going up. 2-gate Stargate from Probe, that would explain the second gas. We're seeing a small push come out for unrated, or maybe he's just taking a forward position so that he can safely expand. That's what it looks like. Has his SCV there, waiting to build up enough minerals for that expo. Meanwhile, Probe staying on one base, likely realizing last game expanding early didn't quite work out for her. And where's that Void Ray rallied? Let's find out. Void Rays change significantly in Heart of the Swarm. They no longer charge up. They only have a single damage phase. It's the base damage. However, I believe the damage per second has been increased slightly to compensate. Plus, they've received some form of power that is similar to a Marine Stim. What that does is for 20 seconds, I believe, the Void Ray will deal double damage to armored units. And the power has a 1-minute cooldown, if I recall correctly. And there we have it, Unrated's expansion going down. If we look at the income tab, we see that Unrated is slightly ahead. That's likely the result of those mules. Our harvester count is just about even. Probe likely going to wait for a second Void Ray before pushing out with his small army. Army supply presently dead even, worker supply very close. Probe definitely being much more aggressive this game. And here comes the push. Now unfortunately for Unrated, he only has 3 anti-air units, so those Void Rays, if they can focus down those Marines first, will be uncontested. And Unrated does not have the right unit composition to deal with this. He is in full retreat right now. Those Voids dealing terrible, terrible damage to this small army. Unrated does not yet have concussive shells out. Stim is ready, but with no medevac support. There goes the Stim, but those Terran units are melting to the Voids. Probe presently racking up those worker kills, Unrated not even bothering to pull them off the line. Trying to withdraw with that command center, but those Voids will make quick work of it. Meanwhile, here comes a third Void Ray. 3 Marines and a Viking are out. Not enough to deal with this army. There goes the command center. Probe now withdrawing slightly, regrouping, perhaps waiting for the cooldown on Prismatic Alignment, the Void Ray Stimpack to recharge. Not sure if that's what she wants to be doing. She probably wants to press her advantage, and that is what she's doing now. There goes the Viking, there go the Marines. Still, all 3 Void Rays alive and healthy. And there's the GG. Probe coming back with a vengeance to take the second game in this best-of-3 series. Breaker match, the third and final match. Map choice will be Unrated as he lost the last game. And for those just joining us, again, we are seeing some show matches between members of Clan Ta. We have a best of 3 series going on right now between Unrated and Probe. Unrated decisively took the first win, whereas Probe returned with a vengeance to take the second, allowing us to go to the tiebreaker matchup, which will be coming up soon. We'd like to remind our viewers about our contest going on. Come up with a unique unit quotation, let us know what unit, post that in chat for your chance to win a free collector's edition of Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. Looks like the selected map is Newkirk Precinct. This is a new Heart of the Swarm map. And it has been mentioned that this map looks like a Xbox controller or a GameCube controller or some kind of game controller. Spawning in the bottom right corner, in the orange trunks, we have Unrated as Zerg. In the bottom left corner in the teal trunks, we have Probe playing as Protoss. So thanks to the random number generator, Unrated has spawned as a different race every game. Unrated sending out that scouting overlord. He will eventually find Probe's base, but it may take a while. Probe looks like she's going to fast expand. Versus a Zerg opponent, especially a random one. Will this pay off? Could be risky. We'll have to wait and see. Looks like this is not a Forge fast expand, just going with a Gateway. Sending out that 11 scout. Meanwhile, no early pool from Unrated, no cheesy tactics. It looks like he's going hatch first, in fact, 14 hatch. And then we'll likely see a 14 pool behind that. So fortunately, that means that Probe's Gambit will likely pay off. There will not be early aggression to punish this fast expand that we'll likely be seeing. Maybe around 15. Although gas already going down. Probe and Drone playing Bring Around the Rosie. Looks like Probe is now saving up for that expo. And there it goes. Or no, are we seeing a Cybercore instead? That we are. Meanwhile, Unrated's spawning pool is going down. Unrated now knows exactly where Probe is. Probe was trying to not lead him to her base, stopping in the middle of the map, leaving both the top and the bottom open as options, but the Overlord has now gotten in. 2 gases down. We may be seeing some more Stargate play from Probe. And there goes the pylon. Looks like Probe wants to set up a safe expansion to mass up on units. We might see some more Void Ray play. There goes the Expo. Zerg scouting this right now would either want to send in some early aggression to punish that before the wall is completed, or go for another Expo himself. And based on the number of Zerglings, looks like he might be going the aggressive route. Roach Warren going down. If Probe can get some Void Rays out in time, those would be very effective against the Roaches. 2 gas. Unrated actually has 4 workers on this gas. One feature I love about Heart of the Swarm is that it tells you exactly at first glance how many workers you have assigned everywhere. Very easy to make a mistake like this, very easy to lose track of how many workers you have on minerals as well. Probe presently has no army to speak of, however she has completed her wall, which I believe might be a full wall in. She's restricting herself to 2 bases for now. She can always destroy that pylon or a gateway if she wants to push out, but that photon cannon for now should be able to scare off any number of Zerglings. But if Roaches come into the picture, as they are, that would change things quite drastically. She would need to have a Void Ray out to deal with that. 1 Stalker won't be enough. Cybercore research about done, but only 1 gateway. And looks like Unrated is going to be expanding, taking his 3rd. Indeed, that is exactly what's happening. Zerg always wants to stay 1 base ahead of a Protoss or a Terran opponent. Probe getting her 3rd geyser and 4th. Likely going to be pushing Stargate. Yep, there we go. There's a Stargate. Trying to keep that hidden from her opponent. Will likely be pushing out tons of Void Rays. But here comes a push that Probe might not be able to fight off. Again, no army to speak of. Just that 1 lonely Stalker and that 1 photon cannon. And that's enough Roaches to deal with that. Can she get a Void Ray chronoed out in time? Excellent positioning on that photon cannon. Still taking some damage though. Another cannon going down. Won't be able to come out in time. In come the units. No Void Ray coming down. That cannon may come out in time. Looks like those Roaches, yep, couldn't get through the corner, but here they come in now. They're going to take out that cannon before it's even built. Probe manages to cancel, saves most of the minerals, but she's forced to pull back, and she's going to lose this Expo. Void Ray now getting built. That Stalker's going to go down. Probe now supply blocked, will only get the 1 Void. Will that be enough to scare off these Roaches? The Queen is there. The Queen might be able to deal with, or at least maybe scare off the Void Ray. Making great use of that prismatic alignment to melt these Roaches. But significant damage has been done right now. Actually, Probe is still leading in Harvesters, and the income disparity isn't that great. Looks like Unrated will be losing this Queen. Void Ray taking significant damage, but here comes a 2nd, I believe. Nope, we do not see the 2nd. 2nd is coming soon. Meanwhile, Unrated is spreading out his overlords all over the map to make sure he can scout any Void Rays trying to sneak into his base. And in fact, there go the Spore Crawlers, expecting it, expecting some form of retaliation. Roach count getting quite high now. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Hydra Den go down to deal with those Voids. Void's very effective against roaches, but will melt to Hydralisks. No, that actually seemed a lot worse for Probe than it actually was. She's back in the lead income-wise. Harvesters has equaled out, so altogether that push was not that effective. A third Stargate going down for Probe. Unrated, there we go, there's the Hydra Den. Hydra Den was the perfect response to seeing those Void Rays, or that Void Ray rather. Also, Unrated knew that Probe went Void Ray last game, and that was his demise. Hydras now have a speed upgrade in Heart of the Swarm, allowing them much greater mobility. The Void Rays will not be able to scoot around and be as sneaky as would have been possible in Wings of Liberty. Here comes a scary army right now. Meanwhile, Probe is pushing out just at the same time as Unrated. Will we be seeing a base race in the making? We'll likely see both armies hit at approximately the same time. Now again, Unrated does have some limited base defense to deal with Void Rays, and Probe has that one photon cannon. But Unrated hanging back a moment. Oh! Probe suddenly doubling back, waiting to collect more Void Rays, it seems. And this means that Unrated will be hitting first, and we'll likely see her withdraw her forces, but only once she's taken severe damage to her base. And it looks like Unrated already has an army in his base waiting to deal with it. There go the Void Rays. There goes Probe's army. There goes her base. Nonetheless, Probe still leading in Harvesters, even as she's taking this damage, still leading in income. But with very little army to speak of. Probe frantically trying to rush those 3 Voids back, but with that Hydra count, there's little they'll be able to do. Still managing to scare off Unrated though, or perhaps he's playing it safe. He knows that he has left Probe on one base. However, Probe does have a hidden expansion up top. Probe focus firing down those Hydras, and now those Roaches have nothing to do but die. This base not mining just yet, but not sure that Unrated is aware of it. He is not, in fact. Unrated going very Hydra heavy right now. That is a smart thing to do. He knows that Probe has been effectively building nothing but Void Rays. Although we do see the Fleet Beacon, although that was likely just to get further upgrades. I'm not sure we're going to be seeing anything... Oh no! Stargate! Carriers, in fact. Multiple carriers in production right now. How effective are carriers against Hydras? I have no idea. I don't believe I've seen this before. But Hydras are very effective anti-air. Unrated may be waiting to spread his creep a little. Hydra's all the faster on creep. Probe going all out with those expansion. Unrated not seeing any of them. Unrated likely believing that he has Probe on that one base. She's presently mining off 2 bases. Again, Harvester count is equal. Unrated is marginally ahead in income. But what Probe really needs to do right now is build up an army very quickly. I'd love to see some Stargates put down, so rather some gateways. I believe Zealots would be a very good complement to this air army, and would be able to deal with those Hydras quite effectively. And unfortunately, those carriers will not have all of their interceptors out in time for when this army hits. The base has been spotted, will be going down very quickly. However, the mining base, fortunately, has not been spotted. Meanwhile, Unrated bringing some Zerglings into the mix, probes supply blocked after that Nexus goes down. The army differential right now is frightening. But Probe still not out of this game. Seeing that army, regrouping her air force. And here comes Unrated's Doom Push. Out go the interceptors, and wow, those Zerg units are melting, but Unrated is just remaxing very quickly. As the Zerg does. And all those Hydras, were they focus fired down? All the Hydras are gone. The air army is still standing. Expo goes down, but Unrated's army has melted. We've just seen approximately 100 supply of units killed with little to no losses. In fact, I don't think a single unit in Probe's army was lost right there. However, Probe's income has taken a hit. Harvester count is still approximately equal. Probe knowing she now needs to push out, make something happen. Unrated doesn't have any more Hydralisks. His ground army is being decimated right now. Those interceptors, 1-1 air army right now against a, oh, it's 1-1-1 in fact. Probe rebuilding that natural expansion again. Excellent job macroing up behind her push. And for the first time this game, leading in supply count. Here come a couple Hydras that will do absolutely nothing. They're rallied to somewhere downfield, so they're just marching to their deaths. Down goes the expansion. Looks like Unrated might be trying to run some units into the base, knowing that the entire army is in his base. He might be hoping for a base race right now. If he could pump out a lot of Hydras, though, he might be able to make something happen. Carriers so rarely come into play in StarCraft, he might simply not know how to respond to them. This army destroying everything, and that's exactly what's happening. We're seeing the base race. He knows that those swarm hosts will be invisible and untouchable because Probe has no way to detect cloaked or burrowed units. Now what Probe wants to be doing right now is, well, after destroying the Spore Crawler, destroying that Hydra Den, and I think she already has in fact. I must have missed that. But that's a very smart thing to do. Now destroying all the tech, forcing a base race right here. However, Unrated is now aware of this expo. I'd love to see a lot of cannons placed down around this base, but I believe Probe simply doesn't have the income to do that. Those swarm hosts may be the game changer here. Probe needs some kind of detection. She no longer has a... No, she does have a forge, so she can put down some cannons. Those would be able to at least provide some protection against the incoming locusts. Looks like Unrated built a Spire at some point, must have missed it, hoping to get some anti-air. Maybe he was going to go Corruptors, but too late. Unrated frantically trying to expand as Probe is losing all of her entire base, in fact. Where did those swarm hosts go? They are retreating. Meanwhile, Unrated cannot produce anything. He does not have a spawning pool, he does not have a Hydrogen, he does not have anything to respond with other than 2 Corruptors, which will melt very quickly to the Void Rays and their prismatic alignment. Wings of Liberty, the Corruptors were the answer to Void Rays. However, in Heart of the Swarm, prismatic alignment, again, the game changer. Corruptors are armored units, and that makes Void Rays melt them. Unfortunately, Probe is losing her final base. Her income is shot. This is now a complete base race scenario. Fortunately, she's floating plenty of minerals. If she only had... oh no. Does she have any probes left? Probe has 1 probe left. Where is it? There it is. It needs to be. There's that Nexus. She needs to save that probe, though. Can she do it? Meanwhile, she is destroying all of the all of Unrated's bases. Looks like she's going to try to rebuild. Where are these swarm hosts burrowing? Unrated down to 1 base effectively now. Melting just about instantly. Unrated moving those swarm hosts, maybe trying to hoping to protect his final base. Nope, going to take out that Nexus. However, Probe is rebuilding here, back in her main. This is something that Unrated might not expect, given this base is mined out, so he might be looking elsewhere. This is a nice hidden Nexus. Probe knows all she needs to do is hang in here long enough to take out Unrated's buildings, but Unrated is also rebuilding in his main. And Probe is not aware of the expansion. She does not know where Unrated is building right now. While Probe distinctly has the advantage, this is still anyone's game. She might think that Unrated is rebuilding right now. She might lose focus, and she might throw out the GG. Meanwhile, Unrated trying to get his income back up. He's still supply blocked. He's no longer supply blocked. There come the Overlords. Meanwhile, Probe still has that 1 Nexus and that 1 Probe. Living up to her namesake. Here comes the Golden Army. The mistake Unrated has made here is showing where his army is. Oh, Unrated in fact throwing up the GG. And there we have it, folks. Probe coming back from a rough first game to take the win in this best of 3 series. I'll now take a minute to set up another show match. We might be seeing some 2v2 action, perhaps a free-for-all. We're going to see if we can switch things up. Meanwhile, just a contest reminder, we're giving out a free copy of Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm Collector's Edition. For your chance to win, all you need to do is come up with a unique unit quotation, post that in our stream chat, and of course attribute it to a specific unit. We'll then go in, pick our favorite, and you'll win the free Collector's Edition of Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. Looks like we're setting up for a 2v2 right now. Presently selecting the map. Looks like it might be hunting ground. Just going to verify that our players are ready, and we'll be getting started shortly. And we're loading in. Again, the map rather, is Hunting Ground, which is a very interesting map, and we'll look around it to explain why. The teams are going to be three players we've seen before: Unrated, Angel of Sin, and Probe, as well as Marine CA, another member of Clan Ta. So we're going to simplify the team colors here so that it's very clear exactly what's going on. Spawning in the about 1 o'clock position, we have Team Red, which consists of Marine CA as Protoss and Unrated as Zerg. Always regrettable, in my case at least, when I'm playing Protoss and my partner is Zerg and we share a base. Not a fan of that creep spread. Meanwhile, in the about 4 o'clock position, the blue team, we have Probe playing as Protoss once again, and Angel of Sin playing as Zerg, so we have a mirror matchup going down. Now, one thing I find very interesting about this map is that I believe we see 3 levels. Indeed, look at this. 3 levels of elevation that you can walk on all 3. I believe this is a first. I could be mistaken, but I do not recall seeing this previously in Blizzard maps. 1, 2, 3. This is a fairly large map. In fact, it is an 8-player map. So spawning positions could also be here or here. Now, I don't recall if Angel of Sin selected Zerg or if he went random. I know that Zerg is his main race, although he's not very familiar with Heart of the Swarm. Looks like Probe is going Forge first. We're likely going to see some mass voids from her. She both enjoys and is very effective with those air armies. Unrated, his pool timing seems to be about the same as Angel of Sins. We can verify that by looking at the production tab. Looks like Unrated is preparing for a fairly early expo. Not too early. Looks like he's getting Lings up first. And wow, Probe is, both Probe and Angel are expanding. Once again, risky to be expanding this early, especially in a team game where aggression from aggression from both enemy players can be devastating. And it looks like we are going to be seeing 6 Lings coming into the base as soon as they find the base. And it seems Unrated does know exactly where he's going. Or at least he knows where his enemy is. The map is somewhat convoluted, so it will be a while before he can get there. Meanwhile, Angel sending out 2 Lings to scout, scaring off that Overlord with his Queen. Unrated simply getting the Watchtower, in fact, and putting up his own expo, which is about done. Meanwhile, Probe's expo was finished first, and Angel's hatch is about done. We're likely seeing the play that Probe wanted to go with in her first match against Unrated, wanting to build a very strong economy so that she can then go into serious air production. Angel in full retreat. We see the Queen coming in to try to block the ramp. 2 Queens coming in, and we will not be seeing those Zerglings get in the base. In his heyday, Angel of Sin, I believe, was a Masters player. He's been out of practice, but he's still a highly skilled player, as you saw him play in yesterday's matchup against Sniper. However, he's not very familiar with the new Heart of the Swarm units. We'll see if that plays against him. That likely also means he's not familiar with this map. Baneling Nest going down, interesting choice. Perhaps he saw those Zerglings, which are now Speedlings, I believe. Income looking fairly even. We see Marine is doing a 4-gate. Very aggressive, semi-all-in play. Now, he does not have a forward pylon. Oh, he actually has a pylon in the base. This could be devastating for Team Blue. Especially if the army is being sent out that way. Oh, and the armies just missed each other. They did not scout that out, but the Overlord sees it. Will he withdraw his forces, or is he going to force a base race? That expo will be going down, without a doubt. Queen's down, saving the drones. Manages to save all but 1 drone? Nope. 2 drones go down. This other expo likely going to see the same thing. All those Lings coming back real quick. And Marine expanding behind it, not making this an all-in. Very smart choice. And somewhat force fielding the ramp. That was a bit of a misforce field. But still, all of these workers are melting, and this is not looking good right now for Team Blue. However, Team Blue still has the advantage in Harvester count and managed to fight off this push. But we might be seeing some reinforcements come in. Blue maintaining the Harvester lead. Once again, Red not managing to deal the damage that it needed to deal. Blue somehow managing to fight off that aggression with workers. If some Lings would have come in to support those Stalkers, if both red players would have attacked simultaneously, this might have been a very different outcome. Here come Zealots, they might be going simply to protect their base. I doubt we're going to see them stream across the map. Here come Zerglings. Angel is going to counter. He has that scouting information out with his Overlord. He's going to run right into that Expo and see what damage he can deal. In fact, he's turning those Zerglings into Banelings. He's going to see how many workers he can kill. We see a Spire going down, 4 unrated. I believe Mutalisks are now the counter to Void Rays, so if Probe is indeed planning to go Voids and unrated responds with mass Mutas, here come the Banelings, and that was a few workers killed. Oh, good number of workers killed right there. I believe we saw between 5 and 10 workers killed. But unrated on top of his micro, sending those workers back immediately. Probe has a enormous Harvester lead. And here come the 3 Stargates. Similar play to what made her win her last game against unrated rather. And there goes the other Expo, 4 Angel. Maintaining that aggression, keeping his enemies in their base, keeping the heat off him. Very nice graphics in this map, by the way. Heart of the Swarm has some graphical improvements, I believe not just in sort of shaders and graphics options, but also the new maps, very nice looking. Unrated sending out those Overlords in all directions, doing a great job gaining control. Here we have Probe expanding. She likes her hidden expansions. Here come the Mutas though. Will there be anything? We have no Stalkers, we have no cannons, we have no anti-air with which to respond to these Mutas. And the workers are dying. But in comes the counterattack. Many Zerglings. Queen is coming over, but the Zerglings have forced the 4 Mutas to retreat. Probe took some worker losses, but I believe the greater damage here is being done by Angel and his army. Unfortunately, Angel has no anti-air. Those 4 Mutas will be able to do significant damage to this army. Angel very cleverly focus firing down that Spire. He does not want to have to deal with any more Mutas. Down it goes. Here comes the army, but the damage has been done. The Expo is down. Team Red is on 3 bases versus Blue dominating the southern half of this map. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases to 3. Red needs to do something. Red needs to make something happen here, and those Mutas might be what it takes. I believe we have now 8 Mutas. Let's look at the unit tab. How many Mutas do we have? 8 Mutas indeed. Thanks to his excellent vision, Unrated now knows exactly where all the Expos are, and he's going to shut them down because, again, no anti-air. We got some photon cannons coming down. They won't be down in time. That pylon will go down, and those cannons will be useless. Units streaming across the map to deal with those Expos. That's exactly what Team Red needs to be doing right now. All of these Expos will disappear. We see an engagement up here. Lots of Roaches and Hydras cutting off the army. Doing a great job catching Red's army as it was streaming across the map, shutting it down. Meanwhile, we see the Void Rays coming out. And an Oracle. How much damage did that do? None yet, no kills. Oracle is actually great at raping mineral lines. They rack up those Harvester kills very quickly. Oh, but that's actually from Marine. And why is he making it sit here in the middle of Blue's base? That might have been a misclick, but we're seeing these Expos going down, and the Voids are actually taking out the Mutalisk. How many Voids is that? More Voids than Mutas. That is allowing them to clean this up. 12 Void Rays. Meanwhile, Angel's Roaches are cleaning up this other Expo. Team Blue still maintaining that worker lead. Hidden roaches, very clever, letting them heal up. He knows that that army's bigger than his own. He's probably going to wait for some reinforcements or just leave them there. I believe that Team Red does not have any detection. Trying to rebuild the expos, but at this point, Red has an enormous uphill battle to fight. 15 Void Rays. We have reached critical mass right now. What does Red have to respond to this with? 13 Voids. 13 Stalkers, rather. Unfortunately, because Stalkers are armored, Probe's Void Rays will melt them as soon as that prismatic alignment goes on, and that's exactly what we've seen. Down go the Stalkers. There's the GG. Team Blue taking that first win, Angel and Probe, thanks to their early economic lead. And hopefully we can make this another best of 3 series. Let's see if our players are up for a rematch. We're presently in discussions with our players to figure out how we're going to proceed, which will be the next map selected. As we wait, we're going to remind our viewers once again that we have a contest going on. The prize, a free copy of Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm Collector's Edition. This is not the digital deluxe, this is a boxed copy. If you want to win it, come up with a unique unit quote, post it in the stream chat. We'll pick our favorite. Again, don't forget to attribute what unit it should go to. Could be a default quote, or could be one of the funny annoyance quotes, as I believe they're referred to. Could be something cool, funny, epic, whatever. We'll pick our favorite. Looks like the map might be Greystone Ravine for our second match in this best of 3 series. So it looks like both Angel and Unrated will be playing as random. Oh, no. Angel has now gone Terran. Very interesting choice. And we're going to get this game started very shortly. Looks like it's going to be just a few more moments. Some of our players need some time. Looking at the stream chat, I'm seeing some Some very fun and interesting quotes coming out. Keep them coming, guys. Great job. See, we have one quote from Farico Dominic from the Thor, which is, "Quick, get that chopper!" I'm sorry, that's my Thor voice. Another quote from Farico Dominic from the Stalker, "I know what you did last game." We have a quote from a mini Spartan 1 from the Marauder, "Put your left fist in." And it looks like our players are ready, so I can stop making a fool of myself and start this game. The selected map, Greystone Ravine, pretty much the opposite of that last map, which was a massive 8-player map. This is a very standard 2v2 map, allows for a common wall to be made. And perhaps that is why Angel selected Terran. No, he didn't. He went random. I might have missed something. But we have in the top left corner, spawning in as Terran, unrated on the blue team. His partner, Marine CA, also Terran. Double Terran will be able to wall up very nicely here. And in the bottom right corner, we have playing as Zerg, Angel of Sin. Once again, this is his main race. And his partner, playing Protoss, once again, we have Probe, red team. So unfortunately, red team will not be able to capitalize on this shared choke because Zerg can't effectively wall. You can get fancy with your Evo chamber placements, but it would be quite a while before that wall would get up. Whereas Terran will very safely be able to expand here. That is exactly what they're doing. And that wall is going to come up very quickly. I'm actually surprised that they're making the wall here and not around here at the ramps. This map certainly favors the Terran team. We're seeing Probe not even bothering trying to wall. No Terran, rather no Zerg, so no need to worry about Zerglings running into the base. I believe that was a standard 14 assimilator. Could we be seeing a 4-gate this time? Or will Probe continue with the strategy that's been working for her? That air army. There's a Cybercore. See no Forge going down this time. Angel, meanwhile, has gotten his 14 hatch. Looks like Marine is making the wall by himself. No support from Unrated. This might have been a choice that they discussed. Double Terran army with many Marines would be devastating to Void Rays, so that might be something that Probe would be cognizant about. However, mech play has been very popular for Terrans in Heart of the Swarm. There goes down the bunker to complete that wall. Oh, bunker immediately cancelled. Supply depot instead. Angel double expanding. Very interesting play. Very risky, and looks like Probe will not be fast expanding this time. There's the second gate going down. We might be seeing a 4-gate here. Nope, because there's the second gas, so maybe once again it'll be 2-gate Stargate. Angel has the worker split going. Unrated going fast factory, what could we be seeing there? We might be seeing some Hellions that'll come in and do serious damage to that mineral line. Could also simply be Widow Mines. Again, perhaps capitalizing on Angel's lack of experience with Heart of the Swarm. Again, excellent Wings of Liberty player, but has not been on top of his game lately simply due to lack of experience or practice. But we see that Marine is expanding. Those Lings will get zero scouting information, however it should be safe to assume that the Terrans have expanded, given that they went to great lengths to make this wall, which, is this a complete wall off? It must be. There looks like there's a significant gap there, but I feel as though there isn't. Worker count even. Income, about even, slightly favors the Terran thanks to the mules. Double barracks going down for Marine. He already has 2 here, so very, very bio-heavy army. And unrated was going with a mech. There was that Widow Mine. There's another Widow Mine. And Probe has gone that Mothership Core. Potentially her first time using it. At least in the games we've seen. Definitely helps Protoss be more aggressive early game, as well as fight off early aggression. And looks like we are seeing a 4-gate. Or a 5-gate, in fact. Is there another Expo going down? Could this be some form of all-in play we're seeing? Angel being very map-aware, making sure there are no secret expansions anywhere. Let's see exactly what he knows. Avoiding sending those overlords into a Terran's base, knowing that Marines will be his death. Supply depot going there, very smart of Canada to put that there. Good scouting information. I wonder if Angel will be feeding Probe. In fact, feeding strategies tend to happen in organized teams. I know we've seen that a few times in TA. As Probe is going very, very, what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gates and a 7th, so we must be seeing some feeding. Angel, meanwhile, is building very little, perhaps trying to help Probe get to that Protoss death ball as soon as possible, working on the Zerg strength of building many drones very quickly. And we're likely to see another Expo now down here. Indeed, that is exactly what we're seeing. Any moment now. There we are. And holy barracks, Batman. This is going to be a huge bio army. Meanwhile, unrated going mech, he's getting his Expo up. Angel leading significantly in harvesters, double that of his teammate, double that of unrated, and significantly higher than that of Marine. There's clearly some feeding going on. The Mothership Core has a recall ability that would allow Protoss, so the very immobile or low mobility Protoss army. The problem is when you push out, it's almost an all-in because you can't get back to your base in time. However, the Mothership Core allows you to be more aggressive because you can simply recall your army. Massive warp in, double Forge going down to get double upgrades. We have Blink going down, Stalkers, very powerful, very Stalker-heavy army. Which could be very effective against this composition. Stalkers do very well against Marines. There's low Marauder count. I believe Marauders do better against Stalkers, especially with concussive shells, which is not upgraded. We only see a couple of medevacs. If you look at the units tab, that's 23 Stalkers to only 15 Marines. Oh no, that's 30. That's 45 Marines. My apologies. And they are streaming in. This is actually a worrisome Terran army right now. The Protoss army is nothing to balk at. However, we see the combined forces of two armies here. Or half of it, at least. Half the army hanging back. Would hate to see the army be split up and, divide and conquer right now. They want to be sticking together. This is Marine's army, and this is Unrated's army. Now, if they can go in and divide that army, this would be a clear win for the red team. And no, where are those stalkers going? Destroying that army. Cutting it off, but blue can move in for the flank. We see the Expo being lost. And another engagement, again, only engaging half the army at a time. This Terran army will go down, but here comes the other army getting stimmed, coming in, will be doing some damage. The red army being flanked. There's the time warp going down to slow the movement of the army. And the blue army is cleaned up. The red army takes significant losses, but comes out on top. However, again, red did lose that Expo, so not sure who the clear winner of this engagement was. There's a a cute little Widowmine unburrowed free kill right there. Defensive siege tanks placed here, not the best placement. They should probably be behind that wall. However, there is no counter coming in. Angel double expanding. Is the Terran working on another expansion? The Terran team is not. They're looking to remass. No upgrades, it seems. Some upgrades. One upgrade on the Terran bio weapons. We're seeing some Banelings. Angel saw that the Terran army was bio heavy. The Protoss army is 1-1 presently with Blink Research. 2-2 is en route. And more gateways. And Angel's economy is so strong. Again, we have probe on one base, but she is floating more minerals than she can handle, thanks to Angel's incredible macro. Angel himself keeping his minerals low, likely floating over every little excess to probe, and she is building more and more and more gateways to try to keep her own minerals low. And now we see an Expo going down. Interesting placement. Would have been easier to just build that right there, but perhaps that was done to hide the Expo. Very interesting play by the red team. I love seeing unconventional tactics, especially in a team game where, this is something you simply can't do in 1v1. Feeding strategies. Now, of course, this will only work up until Protoss maxes out, which will still be a while. And looks like the Banelings are coming in. They're gonna melt that Bio Ball fairly well. Is 2-2 almost done? Yes, it is. Right before this engagement, or right in time, in fact. Once again, now both armies fully engaging. But the siege tanks are deployed, and and there's the blink to get rid of those siege tanks. Very close engagement right now. No clear winner yet. Terran might have a slight advantage thanks to Stim and those medevacs. In fact, we might see Terran come out on top right here. And that's precisely what we're seeing. However, here comes the warp in, and that will clean up this Terran army. There's the blinked. Oh, and down go the medevacs. Oh, thanks to that new medevac speed boost, Ignite Afterburner, they managed to get away with little losses. Now the Hellbats are coming in. Those will be very effective against the Zerglings, not so effective against the Stalkers. Nothing happening with this Expo, thanks to a burrowed Zergling. Very clever on the part of Angel, I believe. Yes, that is precisely in the correct position. He's going to need a scan to clean that up. And we also have the shield upgrade going, because why not? She has that much income. How many gateways? How many gateways? Too many to count. She's now mined out. Doesn't matter. They have full full control of the Expos. Marine is expanding again. Very wise. They need to be expanding right now. Still can't land here. And here come the Zerglings, thanks to Angel of Sin's excellent map awareness. Gonna take that out, gonna shut them down. They are not mined out yet. They are mined out in their main, Team Blue, or just about. They're running low in their Expos, so Team Blue is beginning to starve. But here comes the army to scare off those Zerglings. They'll be able to rebuild that Expo right there. And this Stalker army, 2-1-2. Very scary right now, especially given the composition. We might be seeing some drop play though. We do have Blink Stalkers. Would like to see an Observer out so they'd be able to blink up the cliffs, but I think they still can anyway thanks to the pylon. However, this drop could be quite damaging. Although there's just simply so many gateways, there's not much to damage. All they can really do is destroy these fortresses before these upgrades complete. Here comes the drop. They have nowhere to land. There are so many buildings. The density. Blink in, and take out those medevacs. I would love to see that right now. We see a blink, but again, there's just no room in this base to go anywhere. That army is completely surrounded and will melt. There goes the Terran army, or half of it at least. The other half is here. We have some Thors. Interesting choice with the Thors. Not seeing any air units. Wondering why they're going Thors. Are Thors effective against Stalkers? Maybe. What is this high impact payload? I believe it's change in Heart of the Swarm. Strike a single air target for heavy damage. So no. What are all these scans going down? Alright. Many scans to take out that one Zergling. And here comes a very scary push from Red right now. Terran's army, not insignificant, but we're seeing a 3-1-2 army against a 2-2 army. There comes the blink, and this army's going to melt very quickly. The bio is just about gone. However, we need to see a warping. We need to see those reinforcements from Red Team. And here they come. A little late, but they will probably clean up this Blue army. Can Blue fight them off, though? Maybe if they put up that wall, they might be able to stop Red from coming in. They might still be able to make something happen. Red does not have a huge army left. Red does not want to overextend itself right now. It has the lead. It has the Expo advantage. Blue trying to remain calm, trying to not send in units uselessly. We see some units still streaming in. However, it's looking like this can only go one way right now. This final Expo being destroyed. Blue has nothing left to mine. There goes the GG. There goes the GG. Well played. Again, these are all clan members. They all know each other. And looks like Team Angel and Probe take this best of 3 series with 2 wins in a row. Very exciting games. Very clever strategy that paid off very well for Red. A feeding strategy again. You sometimes see these on the ladder and they tend to be very effective. Having an organized team is incredible, and when you're playing with clanmates, that's exactly what you can do. We'd like to thank Clantaw for helping us out with setting up these show matches for the past few days. Clantaw is recruiting. If you'd like to check them out, you can either head over to taw.net or better yet find them in-game. You can look up their community group. It's called The Art of Warfare. The Art of Warfare Community. You can join their group, and then from there you'll find instructions on how to join their clan. We're going to send out one final reminder about the contest giveaway we're having. The 4 previous nights we did this, we were giving away Gamefront t-shirts, but today is the grand prize, a free collector's edition of Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. And all you need to do to win is be our favorite unit quote. You have to come up with a custom unit quotation, something that a unit would say. could be a default quotation, or it could be one of the funny annoyances when you click on them a lot. Whatever it is, make it epic, make it funny, make it whatever you want. We'll pick our favorite, and that'll be our winner. Again, give us the quote and give us the unit to which it should be attributed. We'd like to thank you all for watching these past few days. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and comment on our videos, and head over to Gamefront.com for gaming news, reviews, editorials, funny graphics. We have a talented writing team. Just don't read anything that I wrote because I'm a hack. But you might want to check out my review of Heart of the Swarm, which should be coming out sometime early next week. Here's a preview. It's good. So once again, send in those contest submissions. You might be able to keep sending them in even once the stream goes down. I believe once it goes down, this turns into a regular YouTube video. But thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the future.